Good morning, everybody. Good day, everybody. How are you? I am in California, young with Morsels of a Thought, number 1326. I am reading from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations Mondays, and this is translated by Gregory Hayes. We are in book 9, and you participate in a society by your existence. Then participate in its life through your actions, all your actions. Any action not directed toward a social end, directly or indirectly, is a disturbance to your life, an obstacle to wholeness, a source of dissension, like the man in the assembly, a faction to himself, always out of step with the majority. Number 24. Childish tantrums, children's games, spirits carrying corpses, Odysseus in the underworld saw more real life. 25. Identify its purpose, what makes it what it is, and examine that. Ignore its concrete form, then calculate the length of time that such a thing was meant to live. He's talking about life. Number 26, endless suffering, all from not allowing the mind to do its job. Enough. Number 27, when you face someone's hatred, when you face someone's insults, hatred, whatever, look at his soul. Get inside him. Look at what sort of person he is. You'll find you don't need to strain to impress him. But you do have to wish him well. He's your closest relative. The gods assist him just as they do you, by signs and dreams and every other way to get the things he wants. Number 28. The world's cycles never change, up and down from age to age. Either the world's intelligence wills each thing, if so accept its will, or it exercised that will once and for all, and all else follows as a consequence, and if so, why worry? One way or another, atoms, or if it's God, all is well. If it's arbitrary, don't imitate. The earth will cover us all and then be transformed in turn, and that too will change ad infinitum. That means forever. And that as well, ad infinitum. Think about them, the waves of change and alteration, endlessly breaking, and see our brief mortality for what it is. Number 29. The design of the world is like a flood, sweeping all before it. The foolishness of them, little men busy with affairs of state, with philosophy, or what they think of as philosophy, nothing but phlegm and mucus. Well, then what? Do what nature demands. Get a move on, if you have it in you, and don't worry whether anyone will give you credit for it. And don't go expecting Plato's Republic. Be satisfied with even the smallest progress and treat the outcome of it all as unimportant. Now, they really did speak that way. The Romans really did write that way, with all the hyphens and commas intended to have the pauses, all the parenthetical phrases. They didn't use punctuation in their stone carvings. And as far as we know, they didn't use punctuation. But there are translations that, of course, all have the punctuation. There are all these phrases and all of these expressions in the side. So it's not a translator's embellishment at all. It's actually real. I know so because I've actually translated from Latin to English for a while, for years. So 29 continued, who can change their minds? And without that change, what is there but groaning, slavery, a pretense of obedience? Go on and cite Alexander, Philip, Demetrius, or Phileron. Whether they knew nature's will and made themselves its students, its student is for them to say. And if they preferred to play the king, well, no one forced me to be their understudy. The task of philosophy is modest and straightforward. Don't tempt me to presumption. Number 30. To see them from above, the thousands of animal herds, the rituals, the voyages on calm or stormy seas, the different ways we come into the world, share it with one another and leave it. Consider the lives led once by others long ago, the lives to be led by others after you, the lives led even now in foreign lands. How many people don't even know your name? How many will soon have forgotten it? How many offer you praise now and tomorrow, perhaps, contempt? That to be remembered is worthless, like fame, like everything. So I want to stop there because there is so much to his philosophy of life, and what he says, it's what people emulated. And I was thinking just yesterday about how my grandmother lived an entire life that I never got to know. She passed before my mother was an adult. And I look back, and yet, if she hadn't lived, I wouldn't have a life here now the way it is. My grandmother was kind to my uncle, that was her stepson, and he, in turn, after my grandmother passed on, he, in turn, was very kind to my mother. He had been one of the bully group in the past because they were older than my mother, and my mother was part of the family as the youngest and half stepchild now. So there was a bully group that my mother encountered before, while she was while she was born, until before my grandmother passed on. But when my grandmother passed on, my uncle Timothy was a witness to the passing while my mother was only 7 years old, or 8, I think. And he saw how hard life was for my mother, said that she felt as if the sky had fallen on her head. And he turned around and became very kind to me. And so we emigrated from Taiwan and immigrated to the United States. So I am a San Francisco semi-native because of my uncle, because necessarily of my grandmother. Look at that. Her whole life she led, and I never knew it. It's been forgotten. But look at this. If she hadn't lived her life, where would I be now? If she hadn't been nice to my uncle, where would I be living? Probably Taiwan, probably speaking Taiwanese, probably eating fish. I eat fish anyway, but you know, um, so people do forget you, but you can make a huge impact on your world for those who live after you, just like it's said in Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. So I want you to think about what this little group of sayings was. Okay, so I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a rules day. Tomorrow will be the days I wear the rules outfits and no glasses. Okay, old Kinderhook.